Joining me now from our bureau in New York City, retired CIA operations officer, published author, and national security commentator, Charles Faddis. Charles, the systemic corruption at the FBI revealed by this report is alarming. The abuse of power is alarming. But the question is, the FBI and DOJ do not exist anywhere in the United States Constitution. This is a fabrication, a necessary one, but a fabrication of the Article I branch, that is Congress. This is their domain, so what is Congress going to do about it?
Well, Congress needs to take stern action. The Attorney General needs to take stern action. I mean, frankly, I don't buy the story that somebody just decided to do this out of overexuberance. I think this was done as part of an overarching plot, and I think we need to see indictments out of this.
The conclusions of the report, Charles, are damning. And even though Michael Horowitz, the IG, is refusing to connect the dots, we'll do it. The IG report conclusions are obvious. I have 5 of them, at least. Here's my 5. The FISA warrants secured by the FBI to spy on the Trump campaign and jumpstart the investigation were based entirely on the discredited and debunked Clinton-funded Steele dossier. Number 2, even after the FBI knew the Clinton-funded Steele dossier was discredited garbage, FBI officials hid that information from the FISA court, allowing the spying to continue. Number 3, the FBI significantly doctored a document with fraudulent information in order to justify a renewal of the FISA warrants to spy on the Trump campaign. That's what Ted Cruz was talking about. Number 4, it was not just low-level employees who made serious errors. There were also major mistakes made by senior FBI officials who were briefed as the investigation progressed. And number 5, the FBI deceptively used strategic intelligence briefings for the Trump campaign as an opportunity to spy on campaign officials. You got to be kidding me. So here the FBI comes over during the campaign and briefs soon-to-be President Trump, but they're actually spying on his campaign. Where's George Orwell here?
Yeah, well, look, I would concur with all 5 of those assessments. This is any attempt to characterize this as just an issue with a few over-exuberant guys, or we need to more narrowly draw regulations, misses the scope of this entirely. This is criminal behavior. I, again, personally think this is part of a conspiracy, and we need to get to the bottom of it, and people need to pay a price.
Doctored evidence, as we pointed out at the onset, is criminal, or at least it should be criminal, and we know the Department of Justice is apparently holding this one attorney accountable, we believe, as part of their larger investigation of the malfeasance in the 2016 election cycle, soon to be dropped at some point, hopefully soon. But there's also, Charles, guilt by omission, right? If you are omitting, this is what the mainstream media does so well, right? If they don't report it, it didn't happen. And so effectively the FBI, or some elements, we shouldn't paint a broad brush here, but some elements within the FBI were practicing this as well, and that is omitting critical facts.
Right. Well, you're talking about this memo, which is basically concerning Carter Page and his contacts with what the IG report calls another government agency. I think everybody assumes that's CIA. That was actually the second formal memo that came over. And in fact, this had been an issue for, I don't know, pretty close to a year by the time they were forced to doctor this memo. They had been covering up the fact that they knew of Page's status as an American intelligence source for some long period of time. This was the final desperate act to try to conceal that, but they'd been pushing this for a long time.
You know what's amazing, Charles? And I know that Horowitz is looking internally, but you're conducting a report like this, hundreds of pages long, and you're not able to talk to the former FBI director, James Comey. He's kind of key in all this, isn't he?
Look, it is clear that the very senior levels of the Bureau, and probably other agencies, were involved from the outset. This whole thing started with one paper-thin report about a conversation Papadopoulos had with somebody who talked to the Australians.
Right.
Absolutely paper-thin. On any other given day, nobody would care. But all of a sudden, Comey himself directs the creation of a full-blown investigation into that one report. Anybody who knows the system knows that's nonsense. That doesn't happen without political interference. They would have never done that.
And, we pointed out at the onset that it's Congress's domain. I don't know. You know, Congress is not doing its job on the lower courts, the federal courts. Why do we expect it would clean up the FBI and the procedures and best practices in the FBI and the DOJ? I think that it's got to come from we the people. There's got to be pressure from we the people to correct this mess. Charles, thanks.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.